minus 80 seconds. T minus 70 seconds. T minus 60 seconds. T minus 50 seconds. T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. 15 seconds.
Hello and welcome to the Outpost Frequencies, brought to you by the Last Movie Outpost.com for all of your movie news, reviews and everything cool about film. We have got a full house. It seems like a long time since we've had this. I'm your host this evening, Boba Phil, and with us we have Drunken Yoda, looking happy as always.
No, kill me.
And it's nice to see you there as well. We've got Sean as well. Hey Sean, how's it going? Very good. And we've got not a Chinese balloon. Thank goodness for that, because we don't want you shot down during the broadcast. If you were wearing a white t-shirt, Matt, I would have quite believed it.
I love that we have spent now $1 million on basically a needle fired from an F-15 or whatever.
The good thing is about this whole balloon thing is Top Gun 3 writes itself. You know, except for instead of the balloons, they're the same balloons that were in The Prisoner. You know, and then they sort of like absorb the ship and stuff.
If the Mummy Returns taught me anything, it's that blimps have the aerial characteristics of an F-15 fighter jet. I don't know if you knew this.
Yeah. You know, I miss those. I miss those movies. Those were fun movies. I don't care what anybody says.
Oh no, totally. Yeah, they were. It was good fun. Righty ho. So, sorry, Matt. How are you? How are you? Not a Chinese balloon.
I'm good, man. How's everyone? All right?
Yeah, not bad.
Good. Wonderful.
Yeah, couldn't be better.
Okey doke. So, yeah, like I say, welcome to the. I'm going to put that up now. Welcome to the lastmovieoutpost.com for the Outpost Frequencies. Like I say, it's nice to have everybody back together. I've had a little bit of a hiatus, but I'm back now. Do you want to see why I had my hiatus?
No.
Yoda's already seen this. And he hates it, right?
Nobody cares.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Wow. Wait a minute. Get a little closer to the screen with that.
That's right.
Nice.
You're turning Sean on. Stop it.
That's such a British thing, too.
She said, the dentist said to me, I said, can I take that home? And she said, well, no. And I said, why not? I said, you other people get to take out extractions they've had. She said, like when? I said, pregnancies.
You know what you should have done? You should have done you should have done that like in Parks and Recreations, been like waited till we run straight and been like, yeah.
I'm sorry, what were we saying? But yes, like I say, so we're all back. So it's been a slow start to the year, shall we say, because unfortunately it's January is always pretty slow. The only decent thing to come out of January, I think, was Megan or Mithrigan, as it was spelled, which was.
You're cutting in and out there, Phil. Maybe echo cancellation might be the problem. Or just keep it closer. That might hurt. Just go slow, then.
Hello, I am now enunciating properly.
Very good.
How about that again? And it went to it way.
that gag stopped being funny like a year ago.
It's probably longer than that. God dear, a year. That's generous.
Stop it.
Okie doke. Okay, Doug. So we're going to talk about some
being funny a lot longer than that.
Yeah, a year. We're going to talk about some of the news first of all. So one story that came up this week is about how some characters are now going to be entering the public domain. Like, for example, Winnie the Pooh, Peter Pan, and Bambi.
You know what's green and gay and flies through the air? Peter Pansy.
Apparently,
wait, Sean. We just talked about we're all stop being funny. Okay, what was that? You should be ashamed of yourself.
I am very ashamed.
I want to bring up what was said on Slack earlier, but I'm not going to because about us being funny. Anyway, right now, forget that. It's probably best not brought up. But yeah, basically, public domain cards. In February, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey is coming out into the cinema. So basically, anybody can do whatever they like with all the Winnie the Pooh characters now because they've entered the public domain. And somebody's turned it into a horror film. And I quite like the look of it.
Because of course they have. Yeah, that's what they always do with these public domain characters. Whenever they get, it's like, let's make it a twisted nightmare because... Why?
Well, no, think about it. What if it was left in the hands of Disney? Disney are just going to do another remake and then another one, and which is what they've done with Winnie the Pooh for the last 50 years anyway. So at least this is like an original take on Winnie the Pooh, and it's basically the story of Christopher Robin, which was the 2017 film with Ewan McGregor, where Christopher Robin goes back to 100 Acre Wood, but Pooh and Piglet have gone feral and have found the taste for blood.
I can't wait.
I really want to see it. Yeah, I know.
I can't wait to see it.
When is it out?
It's like mid-February. So fairly soon. I can't remember off the top of my head. I've got to look it up.
We're past mid-February, brother.
It's out in 2023, I think. Hang on, Winnie.
So professional.
Blood and Honey. So according to the IMDb, it's only got a score of 16 at the moment on the IMDb.
That means it's really going to be good.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Yeah. But they're saying the release date. Oh, it's actually January 26th in Mexico. I'm not going to fly all the way to Mexico just to go and see it
and go back in time.
Oh yeah. Apparently, it was filmed in England.
A kidnapping that would get you there.
Oh, there's going to Mexico.
Yeah, I think it's a British film, Phil.
I've just looked at that, and it just said it's an ITN Studios production, which ITN is a news company over here. Yeah.
Anyway,
they are
I really want to see it,
right?
Winnie the Pooh, I suppose.
Yeah. So, does it show a streaming release in the US or anything? Do you have some real news here?
I've got a cam version available.
A what?
No, I want a cam. But no, I want to see it in its proper full glory. But like I say, myself and Sean are probably going to watch it and absolutely love it, whereas YouTube normies probably won't.
I don't know. I feel like I've seen this take of taking the public domain and turning them into something horrifying. I think they did that with Peter Pan. I know they did it with Alice in Wonderland a number of times in video game form and various others, which that one kind of lends to it, I suppose. But I don't know. It just doesn't feel that original to me. It feels like something that's the first thing they go for.
Well, it's an exploitation movie. It doesn't have to be original, though, man. You know what I mean? Manage expectations on certain things. You know what I mean?
And also, you say that, but it looks like the director. It looks like the director actually wants to make like a. I don't want to say a multiverse, but like it's set in the same universe. He wants to do Peter Pan, the Neverland Nightmare, and Bambi, the Revenge. I think it was Bambi.
I'd watch the Bambi one.
Me too. I'm already psyched about that. My imagination just goes out of control as soon as I heard that title.
All I keep
still
thinking
waiting
is,
on the.
how is Bambi going to hold a gun? But I'm interested to see.
I want to know when it's
I'm
out.
still waiting on the adaptation of Godzilla versus Bambi. I'm waiting on that one.
It's like Gone with the Wind. You can't improve on that.
Yeah, you got a point there.
Oh, sorry, I apologize. It was actually called Bambi: The Reckoning, which still sounds
whatever.
great. Yeah.
Listen, it's not out in the UK until 10th of March, and the US as well. However, I do seem to have found a very, very good version of it online.
Why don't you send me that completely legal version of it? The link to that.
Yeah, I might accidentally copy and paste the wrong URL to you, Sean, and you can both watch it.
Okay. Now, he only lost his mom to hunting, but man, for him was like burned down the forest. So I'm hoping that if they do this, that Bambi actually sets people's houses on fire and burns them alive.
I got it. Bambi becomes basically they shoehorn in Ted Kaczynski into the Bambi personality, right? because the forest burned down, so Bambi starts coming up with all these contraptions, and he starts out sending them to cities, and then he turns into like an eco terrorist, but in reversed. Like, so he's rebelling against a cyberpunk dystopia. And then we see the government trying to hunt him down while he's like blowing up entire oil refineries and cities and stuff.
You know what they got to show? No. They got to show that, like, you remember the famous sketch with the sunglasses and the hood? It's got to be that, except it's got Bambi's snout coming out.
Right.
We think it looks like this.
Yeah. I was going to say, it would be great because you could have Bambi going through the forest and sort of like, some hunters going, oh, look, it's a little deer, and then going closer to it, and then it goes like completely feral and teeth come sharp. And,
I've nailed it. Bambi becomes a werehuman and ends up looking like something out of Dog Soldiers.
Well, how does he do that? Like, he makes a deal with
Well,
Satan.
hold on. He's first of all going to have sexual relations with Greta Thunberg.
Oh, of course, right. I got it.
Oh, Jesus.
Stick with me.
Oh, God.
After watching the documentary Bambi, Greta Thunberg tracks down Bambi in the forest, and they have sexual congregation, right? The demented mutant child that it produces becomes the reckoning, right? So that Bambi's son, Bambi Jr., takes over, and then starts.
Yeah, but he's got to look like one of them horrible werewolves out of Dog Soldiers, where it's like a giant.
Wait! I can see the tag. I can see the tagline now saying, "They hurt his environment, so he hurt them back."
Oh yeah,
that's it. Or something like how to really fuck up your environment, something really hardcore.
Yeah. How dare you?
How dare you?
That'll be the.
How dare they?
How dare?
They are ruining his future.
I've got it. How dare they?
How dare they?
Oh, that's it, Matt. No, that was great. How dare they?
Somebody get him.
Dare they?
Somebody
get James Cameron, $2 billion. Christ.
Somebody get Blumhouse on the phone.
Or A24, they'll produce it.
Yeah.
Do you know what? We just come up with something better out than what Disney have produced in the last 5 or 6 years.
We're probably going to get sued by Disney for even talking about Bambi in this way.
No, it's public domain. We can do what we like.
Bambi is public domain?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case,
let me since you brought that up, I'm going to hijack this, Phil. I don't want to get into depths on Picard. Eggy and I are going to talk about that on Monday, so I'm not going to go into all of that.
Thank God.
I just want to get a discussion. When I was looking at the comments, I gave it a fairly positive review. With cautiously optimistic, if you want to call it that. But the comments below was
Hey, Leanne.
The comments below were all either okay, maybe I'll give this a try, or fuck them. They've, I've been hurt too much. I'm not giving these assholes. They ruined everything. I'm never going back. I don't care how good it is. So my question I pose to the panel is, is that the right method? Do you deny yourself something you might enjoy?
Yes.
Is it more important to screw over these corporations, or are we making sure that they'll do crap when the crap stuff, because of the nature of the IP, gets really good ratings, and by the time they've heard us, we give when they actually course correct and we don't watch it, then they get bad ratings. Well, I guess they all want the shit stuff.
Let me answer your question by asking you a question. If your wife cheats on you for 10 years and then you leave her, do you take her back with the hopes that going forward she won't cheat on you anymore?
Depends who she cheated on you with.
A big the entire football team of the high school football team.
She only cheated once, and that was with an entire battalion of 600 men.
Well, I feel like the comparison kind of doesn't hold up, since they kind of got rid of everybody that was in charge of Picard, and now this is a new group of people that are trying to right the ship. They're like, so it's like I gotta maybe if my wife cheated on me, so I got rid of her, and I married someone else for second season, and she cheated on me, so I got rid of her.
And then she wanted a threesome. I'd have to think about it.
Yeah. But then the new girl comes in, and she's very loyal. She's awesome, but I've been hurt too much that I don't give her a chance, even though she had nothing to do with the past stuff.
Wait a minute, is the new girl season 3 of...
Yes.
Yeah, are we talking about Picard, or is just Yoda just slipped into reality?
A whole can of worms.
Guys, I don't know.
I'm sorry.
Picard. We're talking about Picard.
Work with me here.
I don't know, man. I think that they do this and they rub it in your face, and and then they insult you, and then they call you like a Nazi for not liking it, and then they're like, "Okay, we're sorry, come back. We prom." I don't know, man.
I guess it's my question. Who's we? Because the people that did that are gone. They are not all the writers. Everything. This new guy comes in here and goes, "I'm with you guys. They fucked with my Star Trek. I'm going to make a good one."
Wasn't what's his name, Picard himself, involved in the writing on the past 3 seasons? Though a lot of that stuff was
the past 2. He was given nothing for this 3rd season. He's just the actor now.
Okay, but
stand there, say your lines, and shut up.
Shut the fuck up.
But he's they. You ask who they are. He's part of they.
Well, that's my problem, isn't it? I mean, I'm kind of the mindset of that we're all individuals and we all have agency. So I hate to lump everybody as part of a group just because they happen to be near the group. I don't know. I'm honestly, I'm not trying to say that anybody is wrong for saying I'm not going back. You come by your animosity. Honestly, I get it. I'm just trying to figure out at what point is it counterproductive, I suppose.
Watching season 2 was counterproductive.
It was very productive because we got a hell of a lot of views on this.
Oh, well, other than us being shields for the sake of the show.
Well, I wasn't shilling. No, Eggy and I did not shill those first 2 seasons.
I'm sorry. Let me hacks. Other than us being hacks for clicks.
Acceptable.
Yeah. It's funny because
a good bad fix t-shirt.
Wait a minute.
It's clearly shill, not hack.
Wait a minute. I don't think a channel that's got a total of, at the moment, 5 viewers is shilling for a guy that's got 1 million viewers.
I think I'm one of them as well.
This is called clout chasing.
I'm 3 of them.
Yeah, I'm one of them. So
my favorite comment that I got was somebody was comparing me. He says, well, I didn't like Picard, but I did like the house that it built me. I'm like, do you think these people, first of all, if I was getting that kind of money, I'd have a site that didn't crash. Second of all, if I was going to sell out, believe me, I would stroke the shaft. I would juggle the nuts. I would swallow the gravy and get as much money as I could. There would be no negative anything in there. Just so you know, you'll know when I've sold out. Believe me, I will be covered in bling and I will be a complete whore.
Isn't it time?
As he crashes his gold car through the wall.
Is it?
Fucking A, right?
Yeah. Sitting there like an albino Mr. T.
I I think the problem is I saw an article. I didn't read it, but I saw an article how Liam Neeson was saying with like Star Wars, that the more you add to it, and the more you deconstruct these characters and stuff, the less special it becomes. And it's true that they just keep piling this stuff on. Everybody's going on about bloody Scream 6 coming out and thinking, oh, great, and all this lot. And it's like, I watched recently Hellraiser 1, 2, and 3. Just out of morbid curiosity, watched them. And then I looked up, and there's about 9 of them. And I thought, I'm just going to keep it to a trilogy. Because again, you know, they just keep churning this stuff out, and it just gets worse and worse. And yet people just keep going to see it and thinking it's great. And it's the same with Star Wars and Star Trek and all this other stuff. They can't come up with anything new. They've just got to keep churning out the same old crap and just making it.
Did you see that? Did you see the marketing for Scream 6? I laughed out loud. They are like, they show the guy on there, and the guy almost looks at the camera, the Scream guy, the Scream mask, and goes, "No, I'm something different. Like we're this isn't the same old Scream. We swear, guys, it's new, it's different. Come on." And it's like, oh yeah, I believe you. Wink.
I mean, I love the fact that, I mean, in the original Scream, at least there was like a reason why it was taking place. Whereas now Sydney Bristow has now left the franchise because she's not coming back, and so it's just kind of like, it's just basically Ghostface just killing people.
She wasn't even needed in the last one.
You lived next door to Sydney Bristow 14 years ago, and because of that, I'm going to murder you. You know.
Well, they've been crying online, haven't they? Because apparently it's been leaked who the killer is at the end. It's already been leaked and spoiled it for them.
I hope it's Sydney. I hope it's Sydney Bristow.
That would be pretty ballsy.
That would be ballsy as hell.
Yeah. No, it would be Dewey. He'd come back because he died the last one, right?
It's Dewey, yeah.
Yeah, Dewey comes back.
It's just for the opportunity to kill Courtney Cox.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, don't worry. Don't worry about that. Mother Time's doing that for her. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on.
Hey, David, we said cut. Yeah, I know.
That's what I'm doing.
We did have some sad news this week in the passing of Raquel Welch. Don't even start.
Seriously?
Genuine legend of cinema. With some of the movies she's been in, like hang on just a sec.
1 million BC, the fur bikini, Jesus Christ.
Obviously, that was the joke. But yeah, I mean, like I say, it's quite a shame because she died quite young as well, didn't she? Matt, you wrote up the article on this.
She was 80. Yeah. What are you talking about? Quite young.
How come? No. Because I saw this week that Dick Van Dyke was singing and dancing on some show, and he's 97. So yeah, she was young.
That's probably because of andronicrome.
Okay.
97 is not the new norm, Phil.
Yeah, it is.
This works. She was
I refuse to be middle-aged. I refuse to be middle-aged here. I'm going on for an awfully long damn time.
The one thing we know for sure, though, is that the passing of Raquel Welch had nothing to do with the fact that she was vaxxed and triple boosted. We know that as for a fact because it is very safe because it's very safe and effective. Matt.
Well, she did die after a short illness, which seems to be the new little key phrase that they're using. So died suddenly is now finished. Yeah. It's now after a short.
Listen, illness, you two conspiracy theorists. There are we have had short illness. No, I'm just saying we have had short illnesses before the whole COVID thing. You know, so it might.
Basis as this, I feel.
We didn't have news reporters like blue screening on air usually. Though, just hey, how you? It's kind of a new thing.
Yeah. Just saying, but there's a lot of short illnesses going around these days.
A lot of coincidences. If you're a noticer, being a noticer is very
players just cardiac arresting right on the field on Monday Night Football. It's a little new.
I think it's called coinciditis. It's a coincidence that only gives myocarditis to people that's been vaccinated.
That's I'm stealing that.
She was also in again a movie that I do fondly remember, Fantastic Voyage.
Yeah,
that was quality.
You know,
how have they never remade that? Because that was a really good film back in the day.
They did Inner Space.
Yeah, I suppose
they did.
You know what? I used to love that movie, but I forget about it for long stretches of time. It's not that good of a movie.
It was one of those ones. It was one of those ones that I grew up with, and so I just always got that fond affection for.
I suppose Osmosis Jones is quite similar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
I did like Inner Space when they have them all small. I haven't seen it in a while, so maybe it doesn't hold up. But when they were all like half size, all the bad guys were half size, and they were running around. I thought that effect looked really damn good. I don't know if they used like forced perspective or something in some of those shots, but some of it looked really damn good. If I remember,
I think it was little people.
My favorite.
Oh, can't say that.
You can't say that, Matt.
Kids with masks.
People are vertical. What was it? People who are vertically challenged. That's right.
Yeah,
I call deformed humanoid sub creatures. I think that's what they refer.
Disavow.
No, my favorite part of the movie is where he drops the bad guy into the stomach acid and it just eats everything away, and you
digested the bad guy.
Yeah, that was great.
Okie dokie then. So, R.I.P. Raquel Welch. We've handled that well.
Yep.
New trailers happening out this week. Some new trailers have come out this week. First of all, I'm going to mention The Little Mermaid because I didn't realise who Ursula was. So to add insult to injury, that this movie is obviously going to be terrible anyway, but Ursula is played by Melissa McCarthy. So talk about throwing some logs on the fire. How bad it's going to be.
Hey-o.
Let me just do a thought exercise here because we know this is not going to be true. But just say, for the sake of argument, that they basically adapt it, exactly like the original. And she sings well, and everything's like the original. It's just live action. They don't change anything major in it. Would it be bad or good?
Is this the one where the Little Mermaid is
black.
Different?
She's black.
She's black.
But she's black.
She's black. I don't know. I mean,
eyes on the side of her head.
I'm going to say it's.
Man, and I've explained this that she grew up where the Exxon Valdez went down, hence her colour. That's explained in the thing. But with this, I mean,
hammerhead shark.
You missed a chance to go. Did God paint her?
God paint me. For certain. The thing is, I say it would still be bad, and it has nothing to do with any of the race swapping or anything. It's like, but they basically did this with Lion King and Cinderella, and those were like, they added nothing new. So why have them?
No.
I think you lose some sort of quality with 2D animation. There's an ineffable quality of 2D animation that we need to bring back.
You say that they haven't changed things, but the problem is I had to look this up because I don't think I've ever seen The Little Mermaid.
I said I know they have. But, absolutely
so
have.
I looked it up, and the end of the original Little Mermaid, she changes into a human, and then she gets married to Eric, I think he's called, and they live happily ever after. Obviously, that's not going to happen in this new one because women don't need to get married because they don't need men and they don't need to change to impress a man. So obviously, it's going to be completely woke ending.
Well, I bet he turns into a merman.
She'll join MLM, Mermaid Lives Matter.
She'll identify as a human.
No. She's black, so she will obviously get pregnant, and then the dad will disappear, and the movie will end with her as a single parent.
Ouch.
Holding 6 kids.
Yes, queen. Okay.
She becomes the little welfare mermaid.
The worst part of it is
hate us.
No, and the worst part of it is she can't even drown the kids. These damn things won't go down.
Oh, they'll go down. They won't die.
Stop singing and stop breathing.
They'd be the worst swimmers in the Mermaid Kingdom.
Yeah, because they're half human. So they're a quarter human, I guess. So they just have shit tails.
No, they're 1/3 human. Or 3/5. I'm sorry.
One quarter human.
Yeah.
No, let's say 3/5 human. Jesus Christ. We're back to Mermaid Lives Matter. Look, they all are half mermaid or quarter mermaid, but they suck at swimming, so they all get eaten by sharks. Happy ending.
Oh, I've got a perfect joke for that line, but I can't say it, or we will absolutely get canceled.
Well, the good thing is the movie is out.
Wait. Remind me after the stream to tell that joke because it's so good.
The good thing is the movie is out on the 26th of May, so join us at the end of May where we completely get cancelled from YouTube.
I mean, even for this show or even for the site, I'm not even going to watch. I don't see any reason to watch
Morbid
this.
curiosity.
I'm going to watch it.
I guess.
I've got to.
And the only reason I am going to watch it is morbid curiosity.
I'm going to watch it so I can sit in the audience and make racist jokes and laugh like Robert De Niro in Cape Fear.
Yeah. Smoking a big fat cigar.
That's our Sean. Meanwhile, there's like 50, 5 to 7-year-old girls in the audience just traumatized as they come out.
No, I was just going to say I can see
make
Sean
sure you wear
coming
our
out
logo on your shirt.
I can see Sean coming out the cinema saying, "I said over 60 times, nope, she's nothing like you."
Despite being only 13% of all Disney race swap characters, they're responsible for 60% of all terrible Disney movies.
Not. We're going to get off the race subject now because we're going to talk about Creed 3. So again,
I've just had a message from Cecil. He said, "Can you take that T-shirt off, Sean?" His subscribers have gone down to 10.
I've been getting texts. I've been getting texts like nonstop. Don't worry, I've been ignoring it.
Let's do the show. He can yell at us for an hour and be fine.
Yeah. But yeah, Creed 3 had a trailer as well, and it's kind of it just seems to be like he's fighting an old mate from school.
Is this the one where he's fighting Drago's son or whatever?
No, that was the last one.
Was it?
Was it?
Yeah.
He's fighting,
that's how good these films are. That's how good you can't remember.
Don't ask me anything else because that's the only thing I remember.
I thought that hadn't even come out yet. I thought that was the premise of the new one.
No, that was 2. This is 3. He's fighting Kang from Marvel in this one.
Oh no, he is, isn't he? No, he genuinely is.
I didn't realize that. Yeah. Okay.
There's geezers everywhere at the moment, but yeah, he's fighting. I don't even know, something major.
Of course he's everywhere.
Black on black crime.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Black on black violence. Again, it's just being personified. Again, I do remember. I remember the original Creed was quite good, but I like to say the second one couldn't tell you a thing about it. Not a thing.
Nah. Well, Creed 2 was just Rocky 4. Creed 3 looks like it's going to be Rocky 3, where the antagonist is basically a harder, more vicious version. So who's coming to take his titles in his life and everything else. So,
it's
like I said before, Creed 4, I think they travel back in time and save the whales.
That's a good one. Is Stallone even?
You got to go space first.
Oh,
Stallone is in 2. He's not in 3.
He had cancer in 2, so he's probably recovering now.
He's too busy beating up Hicks in Oklahoma right now.
Yeah,
yeah, he's moved on to bigger and better things.
So yeah, but the other trailer that we'll talk about that came, actually 2, John Wick 4. And again, this is one of those things where I will go and watch it and I'll probably enjoy it, but it's just going to be one of those films where it's just people running around with guns all day. If I want to do that, I'll just go on Sean's Instagram.
At this point, I'm like, just get a new fucking dog, John.
No, I was like dog in this.
Listen,
this fucking dog's jumping across cars to get to rescue him from fight. Do you know what? I'll be honest, I said it in the article. I'm not a fan of John Wick films. 1 was entertaining. 2 was much more the same. 3, I turned it off after he was fighting some 8-foot tall dude in a library and killed him with a book, whilst everyone in the library continued going about their business, totally oblivious to everything that's going on 10 foot away from them. And I just,
Matt, it was a British library, because every now and then just somebody went around and said, shh. Yeah. They're fighting, you know?
I tell you, when it crossed the event horizon for me when the motorcycle fight, that was just like at that 3.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
I don't mind the over the top bullshit. I mean, if that's that's kind of the setup. But the world is just it's like the entire world. I mean, its entire industry and economy seems to be built on assassins. I'm like, is anybody cleaning the streets or taking out the garbage or building phones or anything? I mean, it's just all assassins. Okay.
Sorry, Yoda. Do you want a hardcore action movie set around road sweepers?
Yeah. Would like to see that there are
slow motion. A slow motion of can hits the ground, and then it's like he turns around with his brush.
The Lord,
he's going to Africa in the middle of the desert to visit some assassin Saudi camp because everybody's a goddamn assassin in these movies. It's like,
if you work in the industry, of course you do.
Does anybody serve coffee? Nothing? No. Okay.
The lore of that universe is great in the first and second movie, but then, like you said, they made it to where everybody in the world is part of this criminal organization. There's no John Doe.
You guys aren't assassins.
Well, I can't talk about it.
I murdered that pussy.
I was laid off.
Laid off. Yoda, you have not met your quota this week. You are supposed to have killed up to 24 people, and you just haven't done it.
I haven't done it, and so I got laid off.
The other trailer was I missed one here. The other trailer was Tetris. Now, Matt, you wrote this up, didn't you? I must admit I didn't even watch it because I wasn't even bothered. But tell us about it.
Write it up. Well, basically, you say wrote it up. I think you're confusing copying and pasting from various other one article. It was a slow news day. Stark was off on gallivanting halfway across the world. It was just me and you, Phil, holding the fort, and I was like, "There's nothing out there." And I'm like, "Oh look, Tetris, copy paste."
Apparently, Stark.
I know nothing about it.
Stark, by the way, really is apparently a world traveling assassin.
Yeah,
I believe that.
Right.
His real name is John Wick. Weird.
My claim to fame is. Go on.
All I know, Phil, is it's an Apple TV production, and so far they've been very good. The Apple stuff has been really good, so it's got potential.
I'm having maybe this is supposedly based on a true story or whatever. But it's like it's fucking Tetris. I mean, it's a video game, and they're making it look like an espionage spy thriller. Because the guy has to go to the Soviet Union, and he's getting chased around. I'm like, this was in everybody's Nintendo. What are you talking about? I mean,
we found out what their secret weapon is. It's the long one.
It's the line, baby. It's the line.
Yeah. My claim to fame is many years ago when the Game Boy first came out, there was some crisps in the UK that were giving away free Game Boys. And I opened a packet one day. And I opened a packet once, and there was a little thing in there.
A what?
Crisps. You
crisps.
Call them chips.
Oh.
Chips. Yes. Because chips, they're chips. They're not chips. Anyway.
No, they're crisps.
A packet of savoury potato.
Weird English.
Anyway. In it was this little card, and it said, "You've won a Game Boy." So I had a Game Boy when they first came out. We had Tetris and I used to leave the Game Boy in the toilet so that anybody could just sort of play Tetris whilst you're in the toilet because it's something to do.
Is this story still going on?
Shut up. But one day, I actually completed Tetris. I think you had to score like 1 billion points, and I completed it. And I remember trying to pull my trousers up and run around the house to say, "Look, I've completed Tetris." And because you didn't have phones to record anything, well, I was telling people that I completed it, and they were going, "No, you didn't. Nobody completes Tetris." No. And it was like, I did. And that's my claim to fame.
Wow.
How long was you in the fucking toilet for? Have you got 1 billion pills in Tetris?
No.
You must be shitting out veins after that day 4.
That's why my legs don't work now.
Pushing your bones back in.
If I had a nickel Look, if I had a nickel every time I was running around the house trying to pull up my pants screaming about Tetris, I'd be a really rich guy now.
I thought this was like a long con to tell us this Tetris was the same term for taking a giant shit in England or something. I completed a Tetris, Mommy. Oh, well done.
Back in the day,
look at the toilet. It's the line.
See, nobody believes me now.
Shaped cookie cutters on his starfish just so they cut out.
Yeah.
You know, Phil's mom told me
that L-shaped one hurts.
Phil was so dedicated to taking a Tetris that if he took a Tetris and it didn't stack right, he'd kick it over and start again.
I only did that once, maybe twice.
Went weird directions, didn't it?
Well, that's put the trailers this week to bed.
Did you talk about the Super Bowl? Wait, before you go, the Super Bowl trailers. I know there was quite a few of those. Like the big one or the longest one was the Fast 10, which
family.
I like that he jumps his car to wreck 2 helicopters.
Again, if I had a nickel every time I'd done that, God,
I never stopped laughing in Fast 7 when The Rock said, "Well, I guess it's time to go to work," and he just flexes and the cast on his arm explodes.
Absolutely pathetic. So I said in the John Wick article, how long until they combine both? So you get John Wick, because obviously you've got 4, 5's already in production. You get John Wick 6 and Fast 11. It's inevitable. It's absolutely inevitable.
I hate myself for it, but I've always found the Fast and Furious movies just stupid entertainment. I've
never seen one of them.
I can quite happily sit down there and turn my brain off and just laugh at how ridiculous they are, and they're stupid entertainment.
Phil, do you ever turn your brain back on?
Yeah, we're going to get to Quantumania in a bit.
Okay, just checking.
Something that I missed out on, Yoda, when we were setting this up, but something else we're going to talk about is the new casting of Frank Drebin in a remake of Naked Gun. Now, with it, as because I wrote the article on this, Naked Gun is a perfect movie. The comedy is brilliant. The presence of everybody, even O.J. Simpson, is they're all really good.
O.J. Simpson gets massacred in that. I love every moment. He's screaming in pain. For completely different reasons than they intended.
Wow. What did he ever do?
All he ever done was buy a pair of gloves alongside.
Did you see how he had traffic that day? I mean, come on, people had to go to work.
And not
30
and
miles
not only
on
that,
the interstate. What the fuck?
and also consequences after consequences. Now Kim Kardashian is famous, so he's responsible for that as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're going to be replacing Frank Drebin with Liam Neeson.
No, they're not replacing him. It's going to be his son.
Oh, is it? Well, but still, they're going to be remaking or rebooting the Files from Police Squad, but with Liam Neeson. What's everybody's take on this?
I could not possibly care less.
I think it'll be all right.
I can't decide if it's brilliant or just stupid, because Liam Neeson as a straight guy might actually be quite decent.
I think, I think it'll be good. Well, I say good. You're not allowed to tell jokes anymore.
That's the secret. That's the secret, right? The Airplane and the Naked Gun movies, and even Hot Shots understood this, while all those stupid Salzburg movies didn't. It was just pop culture of the movie every time. You have to play the absurdity completely straight, and that's what sells it. That's why Airplane is so funny, is because it's an absurd. Everything is absurd, but they play it completely straight, and he can do that. What I don't have any faith in is that the writers are able to write him something to do that properly. They don't understand that that's how you do it.
I was going to say, it depends on how they do it, because obviously Police Squad was a Mickey take of those like 70s cop shows. And, the way, and it, at the moment in pop culture, there is a lot of these kind of like deep and meaningful Norwegian cop shows and that kind of thing. And if they kind of try and take the mick out of that of the modern pop culture, it might actually work. But they've got to be really clever with the writing.
I'll just say this. Well, one, I'm going to go and get a beer to keep me going. But just before I go, all I hope is they get a George Floyd joke in now.
Hey-o. Now that would be, I would watch that. I would watch that shit. But that will
they can't just be referencing other things. If you look at Airplane, it doesn't really reference like maybe Saturday Night Fever a little bit, but most of the jokes are just they're within the context of the movie. It's just playing absurd nonsense and just playing it straight. Like when Leslie Nielsen and Stryker are having a conversation and they just answer each other's stuff like, Shirley, you can't be serious. I am serious, and don't call me Shirley. I mean, is that where that's just from? Completely straight and serious. Yeah, Airplane. And it's like you don't. They're not just sitting there going, "Look, Harry Potter, funny." They're not doing that shit.
Yeah.
I picked a hell of a day to quit sniffing glue.
Yeah. It's a great line. There's 100 great lines in that movie, and they still work, and they still work today because they don't. The only ones that don't work are the ones that do reference pop culture. It's like he never drinks coffee at home, like or something. It's like an old commercial that only us old assholes would remember. It doesn't hold up at all because nobody understands it. But her getting slapped and then having a line of people needing to slap the shit out of her. Get a hold of yourself. It's great. It works every time.
Matt, it's apparently hitting girls is wrong. Apparently,
Matt, can you speak jive?
That works better when when you know who Mrs. Cleaver is.
Yeah, that is great. That bit. Okie doke. So, Matt, you getting a beer?
I've done it.
All right. Sorry. So we're going to move on to Sean.
He was on and we didn't even notice. How sad.
I got one of the servants to bring it to me.
Oh, Matt's here. Hi, Matt. It's nice to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Jack. How you been? Pricks.
Okie doke. So, Sean, you have got issue 2 of Cyberfrog. Is that right?
I did. I was an early backer when he first started the campaign in 2019. And
who's he? Ethan Van Sciver?
Ethan Van Sciver, who used to be a professional. Well, he still is, I guess you could call. It's still a pro, but he worked for DC.
So he can't work for any of the big ones anymore.
Yeah. He got canceled for being based, and so he started his own project and crowdfunding it. His first one was a huge hit, I think over $1 million. And so he issued 2. He started that, and I was a backer of that one. And he's recently started shipping, and they've started coming in. And for $25, you got a hell of a lot from the guy. So first, and now all of this came you back to for the comic book.
Got to make you full screen here because I want to see this thing.
Yeah, so you back for the comic book, $25, and the more he made, the more freebies got thrown in. One of them was this little Cyberfrog PVC figure.
Very cool.
Look at the box design, boys. It's as good as anything you'd get from like Big Bad Toy Store or something.
That's good art. Yeah, I like it.
You got keychain, little Cyberfrog keychain.
Cool.
Stickers, Cyberfrog sticker. Ethan's logo, all caps comic, which caps means comic book artist Pro Secrets, name of his channel.
Oh yeah.
Some collectible cards. I'm not sure how many's in there. Several of them. Then the book itself, which caused some controversy. Jay Lee did the one of the covers, chromium cover, by the way. Nice. I'd open it up and flip through it, but I'm not sure how
it'll lose its value.
Well, I've already read it, but I'm not sure how he feels about people revealing like the plot in it because it's got some big stuff in it. I'd rather not do that, but I would say it's his best work so far. The last one was great, but this is like so far that this is his magnum opus of quality. And I tell you something else too. He writes it and draws it, and he's a hell of a good writer. It's a good story.
So give us the basics of the plot. Yeah. You don't have to go into,
Yeah, so
the background of the storyline.
Yeah, the story starts out in the 90s, and these giant, like, yellow jacket wasps invade. They're alien creatures, and they invade the planet, and they sting you and convert your blood into honey, which is, they eat. And so they've taken over.
As you do.
Right. So Cyberfrog, the hero of the comic, gets like knocked out of commission at the start of the story. And while he's out, they take over the world, right? And it basically becomes a big, giant alien bee-infested planet, and humans, there's only a few left here and there. And so he wakes up, and the story starts from the first book to he finds his friend, and this little community. Years and years have passed by then. He's been out for like 14 or 15 years or something, and so the story picks up from there. He comes back, and he's starting to figure them out a little bit and fight them and stuff like that. But it's two other little books that come with it too. You get this little color zine, and then a secondary book about one of the other characters in it that I won't bother to tell you about that, because I doubt anybody.
And you're still wearing the Cyberfrog butt plug, is that right?
I am still, yes. That came in special backers.
No, that's
your Patreon level right there.
Yeah, that's a good job, Phil. Now he won't talk about he
we can edit it.
It's really great.
For $25, that's pretty impressive.
Oh, I mean, the thing about that book is that a lot of people get them and double and triple their money on eBay with them. That's the way the first one was, and this one probably, I have no doubt already. But depending on what level you backed at, you get all kinds of other stuff too. Oh, and he also autographed them too. I should point that out. That was a surprise to me, because I think the first book, and I'll stand correct on this if I'm wrong, but I think on the first book you had to donate a little bit more to get a signature, but these are all he went ahead and signed all of these at even the low.
Are they hand?
Can you still get the first book?
Printed?
No, the first one is gone. He quit with that. I think you can still buy some of them off of his eBay store, but not for $25.
They're out of print, in other words.
Yeah, right.
And
yeah.
how thick is the book?
It's huge. It's like
we're talking a standard comic book.
No,
issue here,
no, because it took.
It's more like a graphic novel.
Oh yeah, it's more like an extended. So it took him several years to complete it, and I know there was some complaints about that. But the quality and the effort that went into it, you can see how thick it is.
Yeah.
But it's Let's see if the pages are numbered.
Stuck.
Oh, man, it's a lot more than like the. It's at least. It
looks high quality.
I mean, look at the we'll put a little bit.
That's all right. We'll keep it small. It's fine. They won't.
Yeah, he might. We don't want to get him mad. Autographed.
So is that a pen?
That's very cool.
Is it printed?
The what?
Is that a hand printed? Is that a hand drawn autograph, or is it a printed one on the page? Is it a genuine? He's done it with ink himself.
The autograph, yes.
Right. Nice.
That's very impressive.
It's pretty cool.
Impressive. Yeah. $25 as well.
25, yeah, the back for the backers. Not like you can't, like you can't go. He's still fulfilling right now, so they probably haven't started to pop up on eBay or anything yet. But you're not, obviously you're not going to get it for $25 on eBay.
No.
But yeah, I think he's starting part 3. I think March the 15th is traditionally when he starts the new. Crowdfunding for the next issue. That'll be this March. And I really recommend, on the 15th of March going and backing it, man, because you get all kinds of stuff with it. And it's great.
Is it worldwide really as well, though, Sean, or is it just US?
No, he'll ship it anywhere.
Oh, okay. And the story's good?
It's great, man. Very original. It's I won't say it's kind of based. He stays like everybody should, kind of more or less apolitical in the story, although he himself is very based. But he keeps it. It's just like what you wanted your comic books to be for the last 20 years, but they won't let you have. Yeah. So it's great.
Well done, Ethan. We are not paid for this. In fact, you had to pay for that.
I did have to pay for that.
So it is.
The opposite of a shill.
Yeah, a whore. Actually, you're a John. That's what you are. You're a John.
Yeah.
No, I mean, when we see good stuff, we want to do our part to talk about it and to let people know about it. So
excellent.
Yeah. I do back the third one on March 15th is when he'll start it.
Yeah, but how long would that take him? If that one took him about 8 years, you said, didn't you?
No, it didn't take him that long, but it took a couple years because he draws it himself. He does it, does all the. He's got a guy that a colorist, of course, but he draws and inks it and writes it. And,
am I right in saying that he used to do some of the covers for like DC and stuff like that?
Oh, he was the guy that made like the Green, not the Green Arrow, Green Lantern. Like he did a legendary run on that with what's his name, Jeff Johns, and
was that back in the 2000s when they really started doing the different colors and all that of the rings.
Yeah, and he was also the guy that drew the X-Men with what's his name there? The guy that identifies as non-binary now. What's his name? Oh God.
Oh, Ellen Page.
No, not Elliot Page. Don't dead name Matt. No, that freak.
He can't draw.
Anyway, he had he got canceled because he admitted that he voted for Trump. So.
The whole lot.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
Oh, poor bastard.
Yeah.
Well, DC and Marvel are both about ready to go belly up. I think they're trying to sell off Marvel Comics and DC Comics. They're so
good
effed up.
Good riddance.
Speaking of which, we're going to move on. Thank you for that, Sean. But we're going to move on to our next topic, which is because we're going to get on to Quantumania in a minute, but we're going to talk about Marvel delays. Because it seems that a few movies and TV shows have been put back. I say a few; it was 4 in total. But the Marvels, which has got everybody's favorite Brie Larson back, is Captain Marvel.
Oh, thank God!
I know. Apparently, the article where I got this from, it said that the most anticipated movie sequel, and it's like,
Can you pause that? Because there's something I thought about the Marvel stuff here the other day, and I wanted to ask you guys about it. I apologize, Phil. But is it just me, or does it seem like the post Endgame, like they're rushing to get to the big Infinity War moment, right?
We'll get to that when we talk about Quantumania. We'll get to that.
Yeah, there's they just don't know what they're doing. They have no idea what they're doing. They don't have a plan, and they got a tiger by the tail. They have no idea what to do with it.
We'll talk about this, Sean. We will come back to that because again, it's something I want to talk about as well. But yeah, the Marvels has been moved back from July to basically November now. Haunted Mansion, it's been moved back.
Wait a minute, Phil. So you got Marvels, which has Brie Larson. It has the Black Lady playing Monica Rambeau, and then you've got Ms. Marvel, the Muslim one. So they've retitled it Checkbox the Movie. I don't know if you.
I love the fact that when I read this, I had to read this several times to make sure I was getting it right because it says it also has Carol's estranged niece, Captain Monica Rambeau, played by Titania Paris. So her estranged niece, who's black. And again, she was her niece. Yeah, it was one of those where she was such friends with her mother, and the little girl called her Aunt Carol or whatever, but she wasn't really. I kept thinking they can't be that obvious about it, sort of like, oh, here is my son, he's completely blick, and it's just like, you could say stepson, no, he's my proper son, so
it happens.
And with it, again, coming on to what Sean was saying, apparently there's a whole destabilization of the entire universe, and Carol and the other two have to save the universe again because we can't have anything kind of low key anymore, which is something again I'll bring up in Quantumania. It's got to be on an epic scale where everything, the trillions of lives throughout the entire universe are all at peril.
So, genuine question then, is there a reason to watch this? Because so far it sounds like utter shit.
Yeah, I'm not going to watch it.
I mean, we're talking 4 Love and Thunder or God and Thunder, or whatever the hell it was called, would probably be the lowest point of any Marvel film I've ever seen. This, if Thor was like a 1 out of 10, this looks like we're now going into like the minus
negative numbers. Can you have negative Can you have negative review points on Rotten Tomatoes? I mean, this scored negative 30.
I don't see there's a genuine bonus point on watching this film. None. There's none.
Mm-mm.
No, I mean, again, the first one was kind of all right, but just all right. No,
the first one, what?
The first Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
Oh no,
it was all right, but I mean, I've only seen it once, and so I just remember it being all right. I wouldn't watch it again.
It could have been fine if they had just made it so that women as well as men were giving her shit growing up, and they made it about her trying to overcome obstacles instead of women overcoming men, because it doesn't make any sense in her character. You know that's the basic hero's journey, is some guy overcoming obstacles, and you have all those pieces in place. You could fix that in 5 minutes by just getting rid of the whole women versus man thing and making her slightly more likable, because the plot itself isn't really that worse than anything else, but they had to make
I don't know. Us men are pretty bad.
What's that?
Us men are pretty bad. So
yeah. I mean, that's the biggest problem with that movie. It's not like it's completely terrible as far as the plot, what they're trying to do. I actually kind of like the idea of making the Skrulls the good guy. That was something I wasn't expecting. But then no, she has to overcome men, because when she rolls a go-kart at 40 miles an hour when she's 7 and her dad like freaks out. What a horrible guy. It's just like that kind of stuff. All you had to do was just say, have some women in her life, kind of give her shit and tell her that she can't do it because of who she is, not because she's a girl, and you fixed it. Done.
Yep.
But no, they didn't do that.
You also got the fact that Brie Larson is totally unlikable.
Well, yeah, she didn't do it. She didn't do the movie or herself any favors.
No.
Yeah.
It's not even like you're going to go, do you know what? Might not be my cup of tea, but I really like
it's the Ezra Miller effect. How am I going to enjoy The Flash because I got to watch his stupid face? It may be the most awesome movie.
No.
People seem to say it's great.
You've got to watch 2 of his stupid face.
Well, you might even have 3. You might even have 3 Flashes in that one.
Is he dead yet?
Rumors to be told.
Not yet. No.
Actually,
in a world which is weird, Sean. Which is weird, Sean, because in a world full of assassins, you'd think somebody would have done it by now.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, so Marvel, the Marvels have been put back to November. Haunted Mansion has been moved from August now to July of 2024.
What's that?
Wait, they already do that one with Eddie Murphy?
Yeah.
Apparently. Well, unless it's something different. But again, I thought it was the same thing as Eddie Murphy and stuff. I didn't even think it was a Marvel thing, but apparently it is.
It's not. It's like Pirates of the Caribbean. It's based on a ride in Disney World.
I didn't look that. I did the same as Matt and copied and pasted most of this information. The other one, there's Echo, which has been moved back to 2024. Team of researchers
I got here.
Layers and layers and layers of editors.
No wonder it takes Stark 4 or 5 hours to publish anything.
High level of quality we put into our articles. I can tell you that.
Right, the one that I do know, Agatha, Coven of Chaos. That's from the spin-off of WandaVision. That's been moved back to 2024 as well. But with all of these pushbacks, you are thinking to yourself, what have they been changing? Because you don't just put. Apparently, Marvel's has now been pushed back to. I forget what's coming out. I think it's going to be coming at the same time as Fast 10. And if you're putting a movie up against Fast 10, you've got to have a property which is going to make money.
Bro, listen, how did we get here? You've got to choose between Marvels and Fast 10s. Like honestly,
you do it.
Fast 10.
You can't beat the power of. You can't beat the power of family.
Family, yes. Family and physics-defying cars.
The good thing is
family as well.
The good thing is I did hear that Fast 10 has got 67% more family than the last movie. That's good.
Well, that's good. Yeah, but hold on here. Isn't Brie Larson in Fast 10 as well?
Oh yeah, she is. Yeah,
I think she is.
Oh, double whammy.
Between one shit Brie Larson film or two
or
shit
another
Brie
one.
Larson films.
She single-handedly almost ruined Kong Skull Island too. Like her character in that is just, ugh, Have you guys seen that movie?
Yeah,
but I can't tell you a thing about it. I just forgot she was in it.
Yeah, she's like the typical, 1960s anti-war commie-leaning reporter. And it's like, why is this woman doing in the movie other than to give Kong somebody to simp over,
Yeah, well, Kong would look at her horrible flat ass and just go, I'm not interested.
Yeah, Kong yeah, Kong would be like, yo, dog, that ass too flat for me.
It's like a bit of paper, get rid of it.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's a meme going around, and it's got a picture of Tom Holland in the Spider-Man outfit, and then it's got Brie Larson in her outfit, and they're both faced from the back, and Tom Holland's ass looks way better than Brie Larson's.
That's such a gay thing for you to notice, Phil.
Do you know what? This comes from the bloke who's watched Bros.
Excuse me. Let's talk about him watching Magic Mike. Thank you very much.
I was forced to, under duress.
Anyway, so move.
Before we move on, so you're asking about these changes that are happening with that. First of all, for Fast 10, I'm really upset that the tagline isn't Fast 10, your seatbelts.
Hey, I made that joke. I told
you I was going to steal these jokes. I was never unclear about that.
Quality of the writing of the Last Movie Outpost, stealing each other's jokes.
That's called research. And
so
secondly,
copying and pasting articles to copy and pasting jokes. We're so
seriously, all these. I find it interesting that all these ones that are going having reshoots. These all started under Bob Chapek era. They were all went into production under Chapek. Now Chapek tried to make Disney more neutral, and you can see what happened to him. Now I don't got any love for Bob Chapek. Don't get me wrong here. He was a coward, and he just folded, and he shouldn't have. And then he sold out to the woke stuff a little later on. But most of the stuff started when he was trying to do that. Now Bob Iger's back in. Apparently, he's done a few things. So now, what's his name? Peltz is not going to try to get on the board, which is kind of a shame. So now Bob Iger's in there, and I'm guessing that he looked at it and says, needs 40% more woke and everything. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think that these reshoots are not good news at all. That's my take on it.
Yeah, you're probably. Let's move on now to Quantumania, because we're sort of going to be talking about this in a general sense. But Quantumania is now the launch pad for Phase 5.
Is that Quantumania or Quantumania?
Don't start, bloody hell. Yoda, you should have checked me on this.
What the fuck is that?
I only checked the second half of the word. I don't check the first half.
Phil.
Professional.
Right, there we go. No, I'm sorry. Right, I've got it right now. Okay, and there we go. Right.
For those of you only listening, he just changed it to Ant-Man 3.
Seamless. That was seamless.
Seamless.
Touche, sir. Touche.
Okay, so who's seen it? I saw it. Who else saw it? You saw it.
Nah.
You two haven't seen it. Okay.
I can't imagine Sean going to see it.
Don't bother.
The review I wrote up, I actually went to the cinema to see it because I thought the trailer made it look quite decent. I thought I'll treat myself. I haven't been to the cinema since the Batman, and that put me off for the last year because it was garbage. And so I went to see it, and like I say, it literally from the opening, I was already rolling my eyes because at the beginning of it, the first part of it is kind of you're in the quantum realm, and it turns out that Janet met Kang. And it's like, okay. Then it cuts to Scott, and Scott's like living a happy life and everything else. But it turns out his daughter, who in the previous movies was just, a regular daughter, has now become a professor science of quantum mechanics and is mapping the quantum realm.
Don't forget she joined Antifa.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Awesome.
And again,
really?
so...
Wait a minute,
for
real?
Well, Well, in the film,
I don't name it, but yeah, that's pretty much. She says she's been arrested for protesting because they're not helping homeless people, and when Scott picks her up, she goes, "Well, it was mostly peaceful." I'm like, oh, Jesus fucking Christ!
Oh, fuck, mate.
See, that I didn't even register, but to me, it was just the fact that she was now a scientist who is capable of understanding quantum physics.
She's an ultra genius, yes.
Yeah, you know, and again, it's and immediately I was thinking,
Sean.
Great. So Ant-Man has now been replaced by another teenage girl who's brilliant and better at him at everything, like Iron Man, like Hawkeye, like, you know, She-Hulk, all these kinds of and then and so, like I say, from the outset, I was thinking, oh, great, here we go. And that does play all the way through, that she is just as good as Ant-Man with everything else. There's another female character who leads a revolution against Kang, and of course, she's brilliant at everything. So the woke is all the way through it. But for me, the whole movie was it was too much of a spectacle. The whole thing was just, the original Ant-Man, I like the original Ant-Man because it is a science fiction film, but it's a heist movie, you know, and there's kind of not much science in it. And most of it is kind of based in this kind of reality. Whereas this was a bigger spectacle, I thought, as Endgame. And I was just thinking, right, so where do they build from this? How does this get any, you know, how are you going to make season phase 5 bigger from here? And it was far too much. I liked Ant-Man 1 and 2. I rated both of them, and I still enjoy them. But this one, it was I kind of put it as in, if you had the Captain America trilogy, and you had Captain America, the First Avenger, then Captain America, the Winter Soldier, and then Captain America versus Thanos and the entire army, it would be like, well, no, that's ridiculous. That's not going to work. And that's what this was. Ant-Man 1 and 2 were just sort of like quite low-key sci-fi action films, whereas this one was like I say, it was on the same level of epicness of Endgame at points. And I just, like I say,
without the build-up.
Yeah, but like I say, it was too much. Way too much. Far too much. What did you make of it, Yoda?
Well, I mean, there was not as much woke except for that thing at the beginning, and then for some reason, inexplicably, Hank Pym compares ants. Granted, they're a little bit more evolved in the quantum universe through nonsense technical babble, but he compares it to socialism, which is just like, what the fuck? But it's like a throwaway line. But tonally, like, for one, it's boring. I mean, really, it's like on a level of Thor: The Dark World, as far as just, I don't care about anything that's happening in here. And then characters make bizarre decisions. Like, they keep talking about Michelle Pfeiffer's character has not told them anything about the quantum realm. And so she's in there, and she's like, "Don't go in there. You can't go in there." It's like, well, first of all, at the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp, you were perfectly fine with him going in there and doing some experimenting in the quantum realm. That's how he got stuck in there. And but now it's apparently
the blip,
the worst thing ever. Don't go near it. It's so dangerous. But she's never told them why, never talked to them about it. And then when they're down there, there's too much of that. She just doesn't explain anything until it's time for the flashback. Like when there's obvious moments, like, what is going on here? She's like, "I'll tell you later." That kind of nonsense.
Yeah.
And then I guess she fucked Bill Murray down there while she was down there. That was a throwaway gag. I don't need to hear that.
I've been trying to avoid spoilers. Spoilers if you haven't seen it.
I don't give a fuck. I'm spoiling it so you don't go see it, because it's really really what bothered me more was the joke tone versus like, you have that leader of the resistance, the woman who cares for her people, and she's very angry about Michelle Pfeiffer having left, and she's trying to fight Kang. Kang apparently runs the quantum realm, which, again, none of this makes any sense to me based on what we've seen before, but whatever. No. And she's serious the whole time, and you can understand, like, you feel that she is, you understand why she's serious. People are dying, people are getting, and you'll see people get killed, or you see people get hurt really badly, and then they just, the Rudd or the main characters would turn into some sort of joke, and it's like kind of off-putting. That's we're gonna put in the Marvel humor, but it's like it's real. It's like people just dying here. Is it serious or not?
That's what got me. When I saw it, the cinema I was in was probably about 3/4 full, and several occasions a joke was made, and just there was nothing from the audience. Just didn't land at all. It wasn't very good humor, but even if it was, it was inappropriate sometimes. The same with when MODOK turns up and he's monologuing and Ant-Man just interrupts him. And again, it wasn't funny.
We're going to show how silly the name is. We're going to make fun of the names that are part of the Marvel universe because that's our thing now. Stop it. He's look. I don't particularly like MODOK as a character. I think he was always ridiculous looking, even back in the comics and everything. I just think it's a dumb look. But I actually like the idea that it's Darren Cross. Nobody else seems to, so that's just me. But I don't have a particular give a damn about MODOK, so I'm not really that worried about it. But I thought it was a good idea to make him, because of the way he ended up in the quantum universe at the end. I was like, okay, that's kind of an interesting, but they did nothing with him. They just turned him into a one-note joke. And then when he actually changes and he saves the day and he's dying and they're just kind of treat him with contempt and jokes, I'm like going, you had a chance to do something with this character and make me care, and you just shit on him.
The bit that got me with MODOK is they have a flashback to the original Ant-Man where he dies and his suit kind of crushes him. And I thought, right, he's dead. They showed this one. I thought, right, there's dead. There's no way he's gone to the quantum realm and somebody's gone, I reckon I can fix him up. No. That guy's dead.
I would agree.
Go from a human being to just a giant head with little arms.
Because he got rebuilt by Kang.
Like his body shrank more than his head. I don't know. It's all bizarre.
So he's the original Ant-Man.
No, he was Ant-Man's first baddie.
He was the
MODOK.
baddie in
MODOK.
Yeah, MODOK is now. He was the basically the
yellow
Derek.
Yellow jacket. He was yellow jacket in the first Ant-Man.
Well, you kept saying the original Ant-Man, and I was like, was there?
I meant the original Ant-Man movie.
The original movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe if you concentrated, Sean, and not play with your phone.
Hey, look, I don't blame him for being bored. You know what? I'm going to give him a pass on this one because the movie is that bad. It doesn't. I liked, in the first Ant-Man movie, Sean, they made the tech he had to have the helmet. They had to have the helmet because when they grew or shrank, I figured that they grew and shrank the oxygen with them, or else they wouldn't be able to breathe. And they never took off the helmet when they were small or when they were big. But now that shit's all out the window.
It's because it's the quantum realm. It doesn't matter.
Actors got big.
Why is there air down in the quantum realm? How are people living down there? When they showed it before, it was like it was this real surreal place with just nothing but imagery, which was interesting. But now it's just, I guess it's just a world. Oh,
it's not just a world. It's like an entire universe full of millions of people that are living in cities and everything else. And again, to me, it was far too epic. And the fact that, like you say, with Janet, she's been down there for 30 years. And when she's come back, she didn't say, I met loads of people down there and blah, blah, blah. And also her sort of saying, also there's a guy down there who, if he escapes, there's going to destroy the universe. It's so
we got to be very careful.
Probably should have mentioned that, just
it's
so that
ridiculous
we know.
That they didn't.
Yeah.
So with the flashbacks, did they de-age Pfeiffer?
No. Not well. I suppose a little bit, but I don't know. She still looks pretty good.
I think they de-aged her throughout the entire movie a little bit, just because she's vain. I don't know. She's fine in it, but the character is just written badly. Yeah, you could have had Kang reaching out, and they could have said, oh my God, there's something that's happening in the quantum universe. Is this the Kang guy you told me about? It's I think he's trying to break out. We thought we left him in there. Oh, we better do something. And then things go wrong, and then they end up in there. Bang, fixed. right? I mean, that's just 5 minutes off the top of my head. It would have made more sense that way. But no, it's because she couldn't tell them anything for reasons. And it's like, and then the science is all gone out of it. They don't give a fuck about how any of this
you say about the science that Casey wants to study the quantum realm, so she's obviously talked to Michelle Pfeiffer about it, but not in enough detail to explain.
I think she only talked to Hank. Because they said something along the lines of, "Why didn't you tell me you're working on this?" Like, well, you wouldn't talk to any of us about it. Which I was like,
it was a throwaway line.
You say something,
and it just, like I say, the whole thing was just a mess to me. It was the fact that they were cutting back from Casey and Scott to the other group back and forth. The whole bit with Bill Murray was talk about tagged on. That was a DVD extra. That whole sequence because with the build up of him coming
for a day, put on a jacket, and they sat him down at a table, and he did everything. And then
because I compared him to the Grandmaster in Ragnarok of Jeff Goldblum, and you got Jeff Goldblum's character, and you got it was good. Whereas, like I say, he just sort of turned up, made a few one-liners, implied that they had sex, and then he left, and that was it. And
that was a cameo at best.
Yeah.
So what was his character in it though? Why was his character in the quantum realm?
I don't know.
He was he called himself a lord at some point in time, and he was leader of the revolution, but then he sold out to Kang or something. I again couldn't tell you.
See what they should have done when they got a ride from that weird tribe, and she had to fight the guy. And then stabbed him, but they grew out his arm, and then they hugged. That should have been the guy. And then he stayed with them the whole time. That should have been the Bill Murray character all along.
Yeah.
And then he would have explained it. That would have made more sense to me. That would have been more natural. No, they don't do that. We got to get a big name in here so we can put his face on the trailer. And then this is supposed to be the big introduction to Kang. But I don't think this is the Kang that they're going to be fighting. Because one, I think he's dead, and two, he said that he got banished here by all the other Kangs because he was just too much Kang. Like it's a council of Ricks, I guess, or something like that. Yeah. But I'm like going, what? Well, first of all, just kill him if he's that bad. Why are you taking all the time to put him in the quantum realm?
Also, just to mention on that, they banish him to the quantum realm in his spaceship that can travel across like the quantum realm and multi-universes, but they disable it. And it's like, right, so he's not going to repair that and get out and kill everyone. Brilliant. If you're going to banish somebody, don't banish them with their best weapon. We banished Kim Jong. We banished Kim Jong Il to an island with a load of nuclear weapons, but we've taken all the keys out, so it should be fine.
Yeah.
What's happening, lads? What's happening? Because for Marvel, I've made no secret of the fact I'm not a massive Marvel fan. I think their films are 50 good, 50 bad. But you've got to admire what they did for everything up until Endgame. So what the fuck has gone wrong from being like literally A+, then hitting Endgame, and then them literally going all the way down to like probably D or an E grade. How have they not managed to continue this streak and just have such a huge drop in quality and storytelling and direction and CGI? What has happened?
To me, it's kind of like that Kevin Feige, Feige, whatever you want to call it, but he had a plan up to the end of phase one and up to Endgame, and now he's just kind of bringing Kang. He's kind of just like checked out. He's got a decent paycheck for the whole lot.
Yeah, but what I don't understand, Phil, is that you had with Captain Marvel, you obviously had the Krolls involved. Is it the Krolls? They are the Krolls, aren't they?
Skrulls.
So you had Skrulls, that's it. So then you're meant to be leading into this whole secret invasion where you don't know who's who, and you don't know if some of the heroes are really Skrulls or real heroes. And it's like, well, so you've got that plan, so that's the path we're going on. And bear in mind, secret invasion is actually still happening. And it's like you've got like Endgame, Skrulls, and this storyline, but you're down here with the likes of She-Hulk and female Black Panther and female Iron Man, and it's like what I don't
Hawkeye
understand
and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
Face. I think. I don't know. I mean, just looking at it all, you think, okay, well, you started out with Iron Man, and you really don't know whether or not it's going to work or whether it's going to be a success. It turns out to be a runaway success. 300 some odd million domestic, 600 million worldwide, or something like whatever it was. So now, okay, we're gotten started. Let's do these others that we wanted to do. We have a basis. We have a framework of a plan. We know that we're going to do something. They didn't know they were going to do Infinity Stones even until phase 2. They brought in Thanos at the end to just smile, but they didn't, because if they'd been thinking about the Infinity Stones more, then Loki's staff would have been portrayed differently in that first movie, I think. So fine, they hit gold. Avengers makes $1 billion or whatever worldwide, $1.5 billion. Now they're off to the races. Okay, this is working. Let's make our plan. We're going to do phase 2 and phase 3. We're going to do the whole Infinity Stone saga. Everybody agreed? Yes. All right, do the Infinity Stone saga. Great. So then that goes to Endgame. And really, there's not a bad movie in them. Captain Marvel, okay, notwithstanding. But even Thor: The Dark World has its place in the canon. It's maybe not super, but there's really not a terrible movie in phase 1, 2, and 3. There's, some that are much better than others, of course, but they're all pretty, at the very least, watchable and entertaining. Now, okay, we're done. What do we do? Everybody's leaving. The cast is aging out. We've got to figure out how to keep this together, keep the story going, but we can't use the same characters. What are we going to do? And then on top of that, you infuse all these woke lunatics into there, and nobody can agree, and nobody has a plan, and you end up with this phase 4 mess that doesn't make Moon Knight, Werewolf at Night,
tie together.
What is going on? I don't know. Now you get into Quantumania, and you could kind of say it's a return to form if you say Thor: Dark World levels at best, but mostly it's just boring and has a lot of problems. And now we don't care anymore. And it's like you should have ended with Endgame, maybe No Way Home, but I'll throw in the last 2 Spider-Man movies on the rest of it, and then just say, then you're done, and come up with something different, or let it simmer for another 5-6 years and reboot. I don't know.
That's the thing. Is like you say, if they'd have just sat down and thought, let's just put it on hold for a bit, maybe get some other products out there and everything else, and just like I say, just let it die down for a bit. But they just had to try and keep it going, and they kept it going with things like the Eternals. And Black Panther 2 and stuff like this. And again, it's just
you're missing what I'm saying. Sorry, they introduced the Skrulls and the whole Secret Invasion story arc with Captain Marvel, and then it's just like, we're just going to leave that over there.
Oh, I see.
We're going to concentrate on female Black Panther, female Iron Man, female Hulk, blah blah blah.
That's what I'm saying. You got the mix of lunatics along with the people who are trying to come up with a plan, and so the lunatics are getting their stuff and the people with the plan are getting their stuff, but even the people with the plan are second and third. The people have been really successful, like the Russos, they're moving on to other shit, so now you get people that aren't as talented, they're trying to come up with a plan, and they have to deal with all the woke lunatics, and you've got the craziness. Throw in the pandemic if you want, I don't care. You've got the leadership mess. It's flailing right now. They don't know what to do. And I'm sure they were under, we have to make money and this makes money. So
maybe with Secret Wars, maybe with Secret Wars, we're going to find out that apparently, new Black Panther, Letitia Wright, whatever, is actually one of the Skrull and,
Yeah, but it's too late, Phil, because no one gives a fuck. No one cares about Ironheart. No one gives a shit about She-Hulk or female Black Panther. And obviously, I'm presuming, I know you're not giving away spoilers, but I'd put money on the fact that Scott Lang probably dies, his daughter takes over the mantle as Ant-Woman, blah, blah, blah. Right? So, but my point is it ended with Endgame. They had already introduced Secret Wars to carry on to this big story arc. And they've just gone, forget we even mentioned Secret Wars. Let's concentrate on this shit. So it's clearly a problem with management.
Oh, well,
it is.
You use the word there yourself, Matt. Management.
They're flailing for the next big Thanos, is what it is.
Yeah.
They don't know. They don't.
And
have...
also, I was going to say with Kang himself, I don't know who Kang is. I've kind of briefly heard of him. That's it. But you
never heard of Martin Luther King, dude?
Oh, I've heard of Martin Luther King. But no, not the Kang in this one.
Great. Mr. Content of your character turns out to be the big bad of Disney. That kind of actually makes sense if you think about it.
I think I might have watched the wrong film. I watched Malcolm X. No, was Malcolm X Martin Luther King?
Yeah.
Don't hurt yourself.
Same guy.
Oh, right,
Racist.
I don't know. Well, no, not like that. I didn't know.
They all look the same to feel. You can't blame him.
So anyway, right? No, stop it, right? So basically, Eddie Murphy, Ant-Man 3, right? Was sorry, Samuel L. Jackson. Sorry. But with
you
Kang,
derailing, sir.
He kind of came over as this super being who could control things with his mind and everything else, and yet he couldn't get his engine back, and he had to have Scott steal it, which was ridiculous because it was basically, can you just go and pick it up for me? But he was sort of super strong.
No, Phil. Could you go in there, make 8 billion more U's, including the guy at the donut shop for no reason?
But yeah, randomly.
And then everybody come back together and then bring the thing. Why?
Yeah.
Because we want to hurt our visual effects artists as much as possible.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Those guys are going to earn their minimum wage on this film. All right.
The beatings will continue until morale improves.
Paul Rudd's got his contract. He gets 1% every time there's a version of him on screen.
But again, Kang himself was completely kind of impotent, even though he seemed to be this massively great power. And I didn't get it. And then people are sort of saying, "Oh no." There's an end credit scene where it's kind of the Kang, like you say, the Council of Ricks get together of these Kangs. They're all sort of like, we've got to sort this out. Council of Kang. Council of Kangs. But again,
it's so hard not to laugh every time you say it.
I'm starting to warm up to this.
So these Council of Kangs. But with it, I don't know if he was an enemy or sympathetic or just stupid, or I didn't get him.
Well, he's basically a guy. He's a human who has kick-ass tech. You take away his tech and you can just punch him in the face, right?
Iron Man.
I mean, how is you look at Iron Man, but you look at Thanos as an antagonist, right? He's a genius level intellect. He's Stark level intellect, and he can kick the shit out of the Hulk. Yeah. I mean, and he's 10 feet tall. And it's like, okay, that guy is
a threat.
Formidable threat.
He'd make a great basketball player.
He would. But then you look at Kang.
Turned out differently for Thanos. If only his parents had encouraged him into basketball, we wouldn't have had all.
Focused his energies into sports,
Yeah. No. If only he graduated art school.
Right, now go on.
I mean, first of all, if it's a whole bunch of different Kangs, I'm like going, well, then that dilutes. Is it? Which Kang? Will the real Kang please stand up? I don't know.
No, I'm Kang.
Is this threatening?
I'm Kang.
I am Kang. I am Kangticus.
Yeah, it was the whole film was just a mess from beginning to end. And like I say, it's a wonderful visual spectacle. But again, this is kind of what I'm finding the problem with most movies these days. I've been gorging myself on some old sort of 80s horror films with, terrible special effects and whatnot, even though actually some of them I've been quite enjoying, but these movies nowadays, it's about how amazing the film looks. Everybody keeps saying to me with like, and what's it called? Avatar. Oh, you should see it on the big screen. And I'm like going, that's not a reason to see a film, just to see it on the big screen because it looks amazing. It's like, I want a decent story, you know? I've seen films with no special effects, but a story that's, you know, far more engaging than most stuff.
I'll tell you what, I'd much rather, talking about Avatar, obviously I've seen it at cinema. I would actually be more interested in watching Creed 3 at the cinema than Avatar. just because, you know, if it does manage to bring back some of that Rocky element where you're in the cinema and you're rooting for the good guy and you get that nice atmosphere, but going to the cinema just to see special effects, well, fuck that. I can just watch it on telly.
Yeah, exactly.
I can just put it on the PlayStation. I mean, Avatar 2, I can just put my PlayStation on and I might as well just watch a cutscene in now. I want to go to the cinema to be with the audience and to be engrossed in the film. I don't want to sit there going, "Oh well, look at that mocap. He's fucking amazing, man."
I'm feeling like the Avatar 2 is actually some sort of CIA mind control experiment. And if you come out there not liking it, then that you're the first against the wall because obviously you're not easily controlled. I can't figure out why people come out of that liking that movie.
I know.
No, has it made so much money beyond belief?
No, because I think it is. I think it is because I remember there's a comedian over here called Frankie Boyle, and he said about the royal family.
What a sellout! What a sellout!
Oh no, forget that for a minute. But back in the day when he was good, and he said about how the royal family bring in tourists to America, and he said, "Have you seen some of those tourists?" He said they'd be entertained by a balloon on a stick. And it's kind of, this is the problem with like Avatar 2, that it looks amazing and people come out going, wow, that was really amazing. And it's like, what was the story like? Don't know, but the special effects were just brilliant. And it's just like, you know, don't just look at this wonderful spectacle and think it's good. It doesn't work.
Can I just change subject very quickly before I forget you mentioned the Will Family? Oh
no, I got to jump in. These tourists will be entertained by a balloon on a stick. Well, we proved that the last few weeks, didn't we?
Yeah,
we fucker jets to go and shoot the fucker down.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah.
I just want to say that I did try to shoot it down, but it was a little too hard.
Just didn't have the range.
My favorite meme was there was a balloon. Somebody who obviously rents balloons, and he just said balloon rides are cancelled until further notice. Daddy, can we go up in the balloon? Yeah, sure, son. Anyway, go on.
I love now that middle schoolers sending up balloons for science experiments. They're like, "Yay, it's gonna go around the Earth," and then jet comes by.
Go on, Matt. You were saying.
Subject quickly. I watched talking about the royal family. I watched the new South Park with.
I heard about that.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen that one yet.
It's absolutely brilliant. I watched it this morning. I was sitting in bed with a cup of tea with the missus, and I said, "I'm going to watch this before we get up and have to do our usual daily shit." And it starts out with who's the brother that's an adopted Canadian? Is it?
Kyle?
No, not Kyle. Anyway,
not Kyle. His brother.
Oh yeah, Kyle's little brother. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, it starts with the Queen of Canada's funeral, right? And they're walking down, and he's watching it. He's watching it on this laptop, and they got the whole thing. And then the commentator's like, he's like, "Oh," and that controversy started because the Prince of Canada, who's obviously Harry, and they just refer to Meghan as his wife. The Prince of Canada's wife has turned up, and they've been trashing the Canadian royal family all week. So he sits down, and all the crowd, even though the Queen's dead in an open coffin and she's all fucked, they're all booing. Someone who can only be described as Prince William walks up and just farts in Meghan's face. And I'm like, "Oh, and we're off." And off we go. And I've got to be honest, you've got to watch it because it's brilliant, because they travel the world in their private plane. And they do a "We Want Privacy" world tour. and then he lands in South Park, and they pull up to a house opposite. It might be Stan with a green hat. They pull up at his house in a private jet.
That's Kyle.
Is it Kyle? So they're outside and they've got signs all over the house. We just want privacy. And kids, Harry's outside with drums and they're letting off fireworks in the middle of the night. We want privacy and blah, blah. And at one point, Stan ignores them because he's going through some sort of branding exercise about rebranding. He ignores them. And Megan turns around. She goes, he's only ignoring me because I'm an ethnic. Gentlemen, you've got to check it out because it's 20 minutes. He's absolutely hit the nail right on the head. He's brilliant. And apparently, they're even threatening legal action now, aren't they?
No, are they really?
Yeah. Oh, it must be good. Must be good then.
Apparently, Harry tried phoning the producers of the show to get them to take it off air.
That's very fun.
Yes, it hit the mark if they're so riled up like that, huh, kid?
Well, I guess I know what my plans are this evening.
Yep.
Watch it.
Now, I did see last week's. Did you see last week's episode where Kyle and Token are doing a lot of TikTok videos? And so Kyle isn't hanging around with Stan as much, and Stan's kind of down about that. And so Cartman wants to help Stan in his own anti-Jewish way, so he gets everybody to believe that Kyle runs Hollywood because the Jews run, not just the Jews, Kyle runs Hollywood. At one point, Randy goes to Kyle's house to talk to Kyle's dad, and he's like, I was just wondering, do you think you can get Kyle to get them to stop making everything so woke? I mean, yeah, we want to be cool about things. He's just going on and on about it's just too much, and it's just it's not entertaining anymore. And he's like, "What are you talking about?" He says, well, Kyle runs Hollywood, doesn't he?
It's brilliant. And Stan he's having a problem with his personal identity, so he goes to a specialist branding company to talk about his brand. And the bloke behind him gives him several options. He's all got a little logo, and it's like musician, YouTuber, blah blah blah. And then on every rebranding identity he gives him at the bottom, it's got victim on every single one. And he does one. He goes, I think he says something like person of color, multi-Grammy award winning artist. Multi-millionaire, and then at the bottom he's got victim, and he goes, "Oh no, sorry, someone's already taken that one."
Lots of people have taken that one.
Is this a new series then, or is it just because they did last time? They did some one-offs, didn't they? But this is a new season.
HBO Max, they're doing new season.
Yeah, I've not watched South Park for years and years and years, but I read about the Meghan and Harry thing, and I read about how they were so pissed off about it. And it's on Paramount Plus, which I get with Sky TV anyway. And I was like, look, I'm just putting that on. And it was 20 minutes, and it was brilliant.
They've been good forever. They've always skewered the right people and everybody, which is I consider the right people.
Can we? Sorry, just to interrupt. Can we put up Heidi's first comment at all, or should we leave that?
I've not got comments on. I've got you guys on full screen. So
she came in hot this evening.
Go ahead.
Go on.
All four incel virgin rapists here.
Can we be virgin rapists? Does that mean we haven't done it yet? Or
no, that means we only rape virgins.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay.
I'm not a virgin,
but these days. Glad we don't live in Hollywood.
But I am married. That does make me involuntarily celibate.
I think my virginity's growing back. So
it might be, yeah.
Well, to be honest with you, I can't help but notice but you've got a lock on your door in the background, so that would suggest a lot of things.
I've been practicing my virginity. I'm just about it.
Nearly made a joke then. Would have probably got us in trouble.
Now she's insulting where we live.
No, stop it. I'll do it. Yoda looks like he's in a real and the rest of you look like you're in prison. This how can this be a prison? This wouldn't be a prison. It'd be a good prison.
Got a lock on the door or anything.
Is it England?
Sean, the prison warden's coming.
Prison.
Sean's prison warden's coming.
Sean, it's time for your exercise. It's time for your exercise around the yard.
That was brilliant.
Did you wash out that bucket?
We told you about talking to those Englishmen. I can hear him.
I think it was his attorney showing up for a visit.
His scarf was so quick. Sorry, Mom.
Oh dear, that was great. That couldn't have been more timed. That could have been better timed. That's all.
That was like a scene from Dahmer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Coming in and giving him shit.
Mom, I'm murdering somebody in here. Get out.
Sean, I think she's still alive.
Sean raided. Oh dear.
I do appreciate you recognizing the quality of my home here. I appreciate that, though.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
All right. Some of the stuff I've got here is actually pretty unique. You definitely wouldn't find it in jail. I mean,
who are your Funkos? What Funkos you got up there?
Right. I bought this because I wanted. Hang on. No. I wanted this one, right? A Boba Fett. But they came in a pack of 4, which had what's his name? Mando with his helmet off, Fennec Shen, and Ahsoka.
Oh, okay.
But I wanted the Boba Fett one, but they were like 20 quid, so it was only like 5 each, so I didn't mind that.
I got that for Christmas.
Ah, cool. That's
why are those a thing? Why are the Funko things a thing? They are the stupidest fucking things that have ever been created.
No, my worst one is this one. My Yoda, because it's like really huge.
I don't care. They're all terrible. I don't get it.
Oh, terrible. What's the matter with you? Where's your fun, Yoda?
They're not fun. They're the dumbest.
It says the man with a Yoda on his desk.
Yeah.
And is that a Yoda key?
At least it looks like fucking Yoda. It doesn't look like a Pez dispenser with a gland condition.
What's that key ring hanging off as well?
Yeah, what's with the key ring? What's on there? On your microphone?
On your mic.
Oh, this is a gift from my son-in-law. It's a Baby Yoda.
Oh, okay. I'm just trying to see what other crap I've got around in there.
Gifts for my kids and my stepkids I keep.
I've still got my tooth. It won't go back in.
Oh, man. I don't want to look at that.
It won't go back in.
The size of it.
I know, it's huge, isn't it? It's a belter,
really leaning into that whole serial killer vibe. You got the teeth sitting out on the shelves. Fucking nuts.
It's not mine. That will teach you a mouth off to me.
It doesn't disprove my point. In fact, it kind of bolsters it, doesn't it?
Anyway, back to Quantumania. Right, so back to Ant-Man 3.
Yes, I'm a grandpa. I said son-in-law. I meant stepson, but from my stepson and daughter-in-law. And they have
Yoda's
a child.
a grandpa.
And yes, I am. I am a grandpa. Yes, technically, step-grandpa. I mean, even my own kids are adopted, so technically, I'll never be a grandpa. But just depends on how you look at it.
I don't know where children come from, so I haven't got any.
Well, on a depressing note, my eldest was 25 last week, and my third is 18 next week. That's
a lad I work with at work the other day. He said we were talking about age, and I said I was 47, and he said, "Oh, my mum turns 46 next week." And it was like,
brilliant.
Brilliant.
It's my third son has actually signed up to do a charity boxing match in a couple of weeks, so I won't be here for a live stream then. But
yeah, you can make fun of me, Heidi. It's fine. I prefer it. Keeps me in line.
He busts everybody else's chops.
Anything else been going on this week?
Not much. You and I are going to be doing a talk tomorrow that I swore that we would never do, but it looks like we're going to have to.
I watched the Critical Drinkers review of Picard 3, and he actually made it sound quite decent, and I kind of want to give it a go. I started season 1 and I couldn't get through the first episode, but I might try season 3 to see how it goes.
I don't get no any. What's that?
Heidi, sorry, my dad. Heidi said my dad is 79. My mum is 41. Holy shit!
Oh, I think she's hitting on me.
Yeah. The problem is Heidi's dad met her mum when he was 40.
It's that old chestnut, isn't it? Of me and my girlfriend were out for our anniversary meal the other day, and people said about the age difference between us because I'm 29 and she's only 19. It really ruined our 10-year anniversary.
I saw a meme the other day. It was that Joe Biden said something about his girlfriend called him a paedophile. And he's like, that's a big word for a 6-year-old. So Picard. It was actually.
I was just about to say, and so we've got to the point in the show where we're winding down now.
We are winding down.
No, go on, Picard.
This is called filler.
We're doing tomorrow, Yoda, but I was pleasantly surprised. Let's just say that.
I was.
Well, let my guard down.
No, don't let your guard down. But I was telling Phil earlier that I was, when I watch something, there's invariably at some point during whatever I'm watching, even if I'm enjoying it, I'll just tap the screen to see how much time is left. I don't know. Sometimes I do that. And I kind of figured I was maybe halfway through it, and I was surprised to find there was only 10 minutes left. I was a good, 4/5 of the way through it. I was like, I must be really enjoying this, because I was wanting to see what was happening next. I actually got to the end. It's like, oh, I want to see the next episode. I was like, that's a new feeling. I haven't felt that in 14 years.
What is this joy I'm feeling? I don't understand.
Having a human emotion. I don't understand this.
That's that serotonin hit again.
I'm not quite sure why we get a day later. Hayden, give me one of them, please. I'm not quite sure why we get a day later in the UK. That just seems a little bit ridiculous considering the internet and this day and age. But
I think it's because fuck you. That's why.
Yeah, maybe. Do you know what I was pleasantly surprised at, Yoda, when we talk about more tomorrow? They actually made 7 of 9 look like a decent looking woman again, rather than just some bit of shit.
Yes. Let's not get too far into it because I could go on.
No.
I just thought there was some really good stuff in there. I love the music. I think there is the thing that's got me hopeful is that I have seen Robert Meyer Burnett and Dave Cullen and a couple of other people, Critical Drinker, who have seen all of it and are practically gushing. And these are guys that have hated for the same reasons that we have the original stuff.
Do you know what's funny though? I was going to say, do you know what's funny? It's been watching Doomcock still hate it. And that guy is just, I understand where he's coming from, that it's kind of, I feel the same about people who say that they like the new, the Star Wars trilogy, the new sequel trilogy. And I hate those people because they're giving money to Disney and Disney are carrying on making this stuff. But Doomcock is just kind of like, no, I'm not going to like it. I refuse to like it no matter how good it is. He has been burnt.
His face.
Yeah. He's been burnt too much.
Well, this is what I was saying earlier, and this is where I struggle. It's like, yes, we've been burned. And yes, that stuff is still crap. But if they actually make something good, am I supposed to just hate it because the past stuff has been crap? Is that how it works now? I doesn't seem authentic to me.
I know. And it's.
I can understand. I mean, I've got I know a lot of people shit on Doomcock. I've got respect for the man. He puts himself out there. He's more often wrong than right, but he still keeps going. And he's I think his heart's in the right place, but there gets to a point where if everyone's saying Picard is good and it's like real Star Trek, then just watch it and enjoy it. You can't just not watch it just because the last 2 seasons have been shite.
It's like I say, it's a tough one because it's like with Star Wars. I got to watch the new stuff because I just want to see something good, but I'm disappointed every time. Mando's out in a couple of weeks and I'm really hoping it's going to be good. I have watched Mando season 2 again, which has been such a brilliant bit of TV.
Both seasons of Mandalorian were good, not perfect, but they were good.
Yeah.
Even though everything else, or most everything else out of Star Wars has been, at least on the movie front, they've all been shit. Boba Fett was bad. I like the Bad Batch. What else has there been?
I've started watching the Rebels, but I can't I can't get into it. It's too kiddie for me.
You need to get through the first. Once you get to the second season, it gets better. But the first season, it kind of lays down some groundwork. But I get it found its voice, but it's very much a little bit like Clone Wars. It takes some time to find its voice. But I thought it has some really amazing moments in it. It's just you got to get there.
I'll stick with it.
Yeah, I don't know. I again, I'm going back to the question. It's like I'm loath to support the corporation because corporation. I'm loath to support and give money to Disney, even when they do well, or to Paramount or whoever else, even when they do well, because then it's like, they're going to keep, if they don't get enough of a hit, if they don't really get enough of a hit where everybody on the leadership gets changed over and everything, then you're going to get a lot more of the bad with a smattering of good, just enough to keep them afloat. And that's what I think is a reason. That's the only argument I can come up with.
No, I was going to say, maybe then they've got like a plan that it's kind of like every now and then churn out something good just to keep people on the hook. Then we can do the cheap crap again, blah, 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 churn out that for another couple of years, then do something good again.
It's a catch-22, isn't it? Because you want to reward good work, but at the same time, you don't want to encourage them to give them a false sense of hope, to give them the opportunity to produce more shit.
But this is where we are.
I know none of these people are setting out to make shit, but they're so mired in their whatever lunatic bubble that they're stuck in that they don't even have the concept of it, of why it's bad. But it's got to be some cooler heads above, like David Zaslav now with HBO. There's got to be some cooler or Warner or whatever. But there's got to be some cooler heads above that have, the authority to say, no, this is crap. You're a lunatic. We're going to have to move on. Sorry. And there's nobody there at Disney. Iger is back in charge, going to do all the same woke lunatic stuff he's been doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he started the ball rolling in that direction anyway. So, it's madness. Just a quick question. We've got Cocaine Bear is out on Friday. Is anyone watching that for next week's stream?
Damn straight. I don't know. I mean, I won't see it in the cinema because I'm bored with the cinema now. But no, I'm desperate to go and see it. I'll wait for it to come on streaming, but it looks great. Cocaine. How can you not watch a film called Cocaine Bear?
I don't know. Well, it's out Friday, isn't it? So, I mean, to be honest with you, we're out Friday and I'm also out Saturday. So I'm not going to actually get a chance to see it. If it's available on stream, then I can watch it Sunday morning before we do a live stream in the evening.
It came on the previews last night when my wife and I went out to a movie, and I just was like going, that looks amazing. And my wife looked at me and she's like, what is that?
Was this when you went
Bear? What?
Was this when you went to see Magic Mike?
Yeah, I saw that. Okay, you got me.
We got you right at the end.
I'm like Ralph Wiggum. I like men now. I'll be honest with you. I've seen the first two. I've seen all three Magic Mike movies. And yeah, okay, whatever. Jokes aside, the first two, the first one was actually pretty good, but it isn't all that seedy male strip club stuff. And I expected that was going to happen in this one, and instead, Channing Tatum's character has sex with Selma Hayek at the very beginning after giving her the lap dance of the century, and she whisks him to England, where they're going to take this old theater, this old barn, and they're going to put on a show, which has kind of some male stripping in it, but mostly it's just a big new show and a play, and he's going to direct. And my wife is like, what? This isn't what I wanted. I wanted to see guys doing stuff. And it's not that movie. It's not even close to that movie. I'm like going, this is almost false advertising.
Oh, wow.
For me, I was like, oh, thank God. I'm having to watch that nonsense. But
the only thing I will say about
the audience, I could tell there was a group of women of cat ladies, let's face it, and they all had their drinks and they just got out of work and they were ready. They were ready for Magic Mike, and they were very disappointed.
The only thing I will say about Magic Mike the original is Olivia Munn.
Yep,
yeah, she's a bird. She's a bird in the Princess Leia outfit as well.
Oh no! She's better than that in what's it called? She's better than that in the first Magic Mike because she's topless in that.
Because she was seen, she was dating Chris Pine at one stage, wasn't she?
Was she?
Yeah. And apparently her text. I remember when the whole Apple frappening happened.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, her text got leaked. There was text about her begging him to come over to her apartment and do up the brown box. I was like, "Hey, yes, this woman's got everything. She likes Star Wars. She's a hot bird.
Man.
she's a lunatic. The hot ones always are.
Okie doke, right. Are we wrapping up? Because it's been 2 hours and I'm bored.
Yeah, why don't you go through the rest of the chats and then we'll hit it out.
Heidi says, hi, 2025,
Something
Star
about
Wars stuff.
handy.
Jesus Christ.
I'm 25 and my husband is closer to your age. Oh, you're married? Oh, well, there's enough from Heidi then.
Yeah.
Block
all those Eagle fans are in the ghetto streets while Yoda is celebrating another KFC. I was going to say then KC Chiefs stolen victory in his big furnished, comfortable suburban Midwestern home.
Was it stolen, Yoda? So I keep hearing.
No, it was not stolen.
I heard there was a dodgy call.
No, they showed it, and he grabbed the guy's jersey, and that is the call. I will admit, I wish it didn't end on a stupid call. I mean, it was a legal call. It was a good call, but I wish it didn't end that way because it really, it's like just a bad ending to a movie. You know, you're watching this great movie that's going back and forth, and then they fuck the ending. That's kind of what it was like to me. I'm glad we won, but it wasn't as dramatic and good as if there hadn't been a clean call.
I'll buy Star Wars. I'm not paying $4 billion for it.
No, I'll give him $1.35 though.
I'd say give it another 5 years under Kennedy's stewardship. You probably had to get it for a tenner.
Yeah. A Starbucks gift card.
They should sell Star Wars to Taco Bell or something. It will make it fun.
Yo quiero Star Wars.
And Yoda can take his grandkids to see Cocaine
Jesus
Bear.
Christ.
Yes,
she's 3 months old. I'm not going to take a 3-month-old to fucking Cocaine Bear.
Yeah, gosh, she's 3 months old. I'm going to take her to see Infinity Pool.
Yeah.
I'll take her to Magic Mike.
Okie doke. Right, so here we go. Let's go to Let's go to that one. Yoda. Would you? Sean said we just had a message from Sean. He had to step out because of an emergency. He got raided. No.
Yeah, it turned out he's.
I was going to say a raid would be an emergency.
She gained interest and walked into the room, which we all saw.
Yeah, the emergency was his mum walked into the room and it's like, are you hanging around with those boys again? No, Mum, no. You know they make you racist.
I heard rape mentioned, Sean. I heard it.
Not again. That was the last time.
Did you guys see that story? I think I posted in the Slack, but the story of the Aussie guy who was busted with an entire shooting, like he had an arsenal down in his basement and everything, and they had a shooting range and everything. And to get in there was like this secret panel that had a couch on it, and the whole thing lifted up to reveal a hidden staircase. I said, Sean, I think they found your Aussie compound.
Do you know how petty they are, Yoda? They're actually doing him on building it without council approval.
I've just
guns are illegal in Australia, so
I think he answered the question of why he needs that.
I just briefly earlier today I saw a headline and it said some kid in America is being done because he took the gun off somebody who was going to commit suicide in school. And the kid that's getting done is the one who took the gun off him to stop him committing suicide. He's getting done for it.
Brilliant.
I'm going to kill myself. Go ahead. I'm not stopping you.
Yeah.
You know what? Just let me
clear up the gene pool. We don't need you.
Let me back off.
Anyway,
so I don't get any of your fucking brains on my t-shirt.
Anyway, let's wrap up.
What? Braids on a T? What?
He just shoot himself in the head. I don't want to be near it.
Yeah, this is my best T-shirt, so no.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? This is a £40.
All right. Thank you very much for watching. This has been another fabulous, incredible presentation from lastmovieoutpost.com. You can reach us on Twitter at Movie Outpost. He's at Boba Phil. He's at Matt Eggy Wags, and I'm at Drunken Yoda 1. You can reach
He's
us
not
on
at Matt Eggy Wags at the moment.
I don't give a fuck. He's a Chinese balloon.
He's been banned again.
See, now you gotta wait for the goddamn thing to scroll again. Yeah, you broke my rhythm. You broke it. What's wrong with you, Phil?
He did.
This is supposed to be a professional stream.
Eggy Wags, but he's not there. Anyway, go on.
No. Facebook / Last Movie Out. His Instagram is at Matt Eggy Wags still. Or his Twitter.
You got Instagram?
Instagram is Last Movie Outpost. I'm confused.
See ya.
It's time for Yoda to go down and have his nap, isn't it, Grandpa?
Yes.
Yes. You spoke to those other people about the films, didn't you? Yes. Come on, then, back to bed with you, though.
Watch a man turn into Joe Biden right before your eyes. Doing a shot at the president. Thank you very much for watching. You got Phil? You got anything left in the tank?
No.
Anything?
I've got to. I'm really behind on videos at the moment because I've been working on some personal projects and stuff. But I've got an Outlook that I'm working on, and I need to get that finished. But apart from that, come and see me online because I have lots of fun on Twitter, and I don't get banned for saying racist stuff.
I'm shocked that I haven't got banned yet because I've been calling people corporate dick suckers left and right for some reason.
I'm on my 4th ban since I joined again in January.
Matt, just don't use the N-word. There's ways to get around that.
But I've got a black friend who gave me a pass. He said I could use it whenever
he gave me
I want.
a card and everything. Black friend's laughing his ass at you in the background.
Anyway, yeah, go on.
Matt,
Sorry.
Any more Chinese balloons to blow up? You got or anything? What?
No, bring back the Snyderverse.
It's dead. Let it go.
Do you mean Zack Snyder or Roy Schneider? Rob Schneider. Rob Schneider Universe?
Rob Schneider Universe. Right. He's dead. Dead as Elvis.
He's gone. He's gone.
All right. Well, thank you all very much for watching, and we will see you on the next stream.